Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, man. Now that we a few hours removed away from Chocolatito suffering a devastating knockout via the hands of Soravise, you have to wonder, can Chocolatito recover from this? I want you guys to understand, Romon Gonzalez was battered for 3 rounds until he got stopped in the 4th. You know, dude was just winning the fight going away. You know, I gave Romon Gonzalez the 2nd round, but then you could just tell as the fight went on, Soravise was getting stronger. He was landing better punches, and he just, you know, Romon Gonzalez just couldn't hurt him. And he had a great balance up and down body attack. That is the perfect way to fight a guy like Romon Gonzalez. Dudes that is defensively challenged. Up and down. Attack the body. You know, go upstairs. Go downstairs, go upstairs. Romon Gonzalez couldn't defend himself. Yeah, he threw punches, but he couldn't defend himself. You know, every time he'd land 2 or 3 good punches, the other dude would land 4, 5, 6 punches in a row. Sometimes 3 to the body, 3 to the face. And you could tell by the 2nd round that dude was already breaking Romon Gonzalez down. When you really look at Romon Gonzalez, you've really seen in this fight how one-dimensional he is. You know, couldn't get out of the way from punches, couldn't maneuver, you know what I'm saying? I mean, dude pretty much did whatever he wanted to do with him. And it's just certain people you just don't fight a 2nd time. Romon Gonzalez, he let his pride get in the way. He fought that dude a 2nd time, and then he ended up getting stopped. Most of us believed that the dude was going to beat Romon Gonzalez again. Certain dudes like that, you just know he going to beat him again. He was thinking to himself, okay, y'all say I didn't beat this overrated hype job. Okay, not only am I going to beat him a 2nd time, this time it's not going the distance. And he got him up out of there. Now, they have been fighters that have recovered from getting knocked out. You know, Thomas Hearns, he got stopped. You know, he got knocked out by Marvin Hagler, Iran Barkley. He managed to have a great Hall of Fame career because he knocked out people. Because, you know, Thomas Hearns had heart. Say what you want to say about him. Yes, Thomas Hearns didn't have the best chin in the world, but he had heart, and he fought with heart. You know, Roy Jones Jr., to just be honest with you, he was never the same after he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. Roy Jones Jr. at once was the best fighter in the planet. He was the best fighter in the world. But I think going up all those weight classes and then trying to come down took toll on him. And then he ended up eventually, you know, taking a downfall, which Roy Jones to this day, he still tries to fight occasionally, and people don't want to see the guy fight. And he doesn't have to fight. He's made a lot of money in boxing. There's no reason for him to fight. But a guy like Romon Gonzalez, I think what the problem was with Romon Gonzalez, I really think he started to believe his own hype. And that happens to you. To a certain degree, you can't help it, because if you got all these people in your ear saying, hey, you the best fighter on the planet, HBO says so, and then you get these people that rally behind HBO because what they're trying to do in boxing, play the color game, because that's what they do in boxing. Nobody wants to tell the truth that boxing is about color. You know, nobody. Except me and a few other people. Like I said, people attack me for liking fighters because they're black like me, but then they do the same thing with other fighters. The same thing they accuse me of doing, they do it. But it's okay for them to do it, but, you know, not me. And I want to make this very clear. I like boxing as a whole. I like Mexican fighters. I like, you know, non-black fighters. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I want to root for a fighter because he's black, that's my right. And it ain't a fucking thing you could do about it. And you're never going to make me feel guilty about it. So you can take that shit somewhere else. You can make all the videos you want about black people supporting black fighters. Because at the end of the day, we're still going to make the videos we want. And you damn right. Nobody will ever make me feel guilty about supporting black fighters or black people as a whole. So you can go fuck yourself. But, excuse me, I digress a little bit. Got a little bit off the subject, so excuse me. But let me get back to Romon Gonzalez. Y'all know me. I've been on here for basically 2 years making videos. And I told people that Romon Gonzalez was overrated. I told him he was not the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And, of course, what happened? You know, guess who got mad? You know, white people and Hispanic people and other non-blacks. But I was just telling the truth. Now, keep in mind, Romon Gonzalez is Nicaraguan. And he's dark. So I could pull the he kind of black card, but no, I'm not going to do that. He's not black. Okay? Not black. He's Nicaraguan. And I was just saying that because I just was calling it how I see it. One thing about those lower weight classes that you guys got to remember. I want y'all to remember this. And I'm not knocking those lower weight classes, you know, straw weight to flyweight, you know, straw weight, bantamweight, flyweight, you know, all those weight classes from 105 to, you know, the lower 20s. Keep in mind, most of those fighters are going to be defensively challenged because that's what they do. They're just trained to just fight. You know, and I think that's the reason why Ringo was so dangerous. Because Ringo is a dude, he could box and he could fight. He could do both. Where you have those smaller guys, they just there to just throw a whole bunch of punches, create a whole bunch of offense. But at the end of the day, damn, sometimes you got to get on defense too. Because like I said, at the end of the day, sometimes where you just seeing bombs away and just seeing a whole bunch of offense, rock 'em, sock 'em robots, that seemed to get a little boring. And I started to see that with Romon Gonzalez. The thing is with him, he never had to think as a fighter. See, one thing about Ringo, when you fight him, he make you think. If you underthink against Ringo, you're going to lose possibly. If you overthink, you could lose. And see, that's why none of those guys in those lower weight classes wanted to fight him. Because he makes you think. Now, should this fight with Lomachenko happen, he's going to have Lomachenko thinking a lot. Keep in mind, Lomachenko ain't going to try to shit with Ringo that he does with other fighters. Because he tried to get too arrogant and too cute with Ringo, he could find himself getting knocked the fuck out. But yeah, as far as Romon Gonzalez go, I hope he can recover. But you could just look at his demeanor like he didn't know what hit him. And I'm talking about like, he looked like after they picked him up off the ground, they was like, damn. And you have to wonder, is he done? You know, is he done? Will he recover? You know, can he recover? Does he want to recover? Those are all questions that you have to ask Romon Gonzalez. That was brutal what happened to him. You know. And we all know he's not going to fight that dude a third time. Because that would be crazy to fight that dude a third time. He needs to stay clear away from this dude. Now, Soravisi, he made a name for himself tonight. He really did. He showed that he is one tough competitor. He made a name for himself, and that's fine with me. He went in there and took care of business. But as I said about Romon Gonzalez, the problem is with Chocolatito, I think his handlers, himself, and HBO set him up to fail. Because keep in mind, they brought this dude basically out of nowhere and tried to tell us that he was the best fighter in the world. And when I kept asking and challenging, well, why? How? Explain. There was really no explanation. And I think that's not cool. And HBO shouldn't be doing this shit. I don't know why HBO has this agenda to promote non-American fighters. But as of right now, it's backfiring on them. Bad. And it may continue to backfire. Because if you look at HBO, they had all these good fighters and they ran them off. They ran Floyd off. Crawford is gone. You know, that solid PBC roster, none of them are fighting on HBO. Daniel Jacobs could have been a dude that they signed exclusively to HBO. But all these dudes is fighting elsewhere. And another thing that's going to hurt boxing is all these fighters scattered around all these networks. You know, this dude fight for this network. This dude fight for this network. You know, I don't want to see some of the best fights not get made because of shit with HBO and ESPN and Showtime and all that type of shit. You know, using the network card to protect certain fighters from certain fights. We cannot allow that to happen. But anyway, man, yeah, we'll see what happens with Chocolatito, man. And I ain't gonna say that's what he get, but at the end of the day, man, HBO was pushing this guy too hard. I said from the gate he wasn't the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, and it was proven tonight. Just like Triple G was never the best fighter on the planet. I really didn't have Triple G in my top 10, but once again, because of HBO, they were trying to force feed this dude on people. And so next week will really be telling what happens with Triple G. If he can beat Canelo Alvarez, I'll give him high praise. I will give him his props because I'll say that he finally beat one top 10 pound-for-pound fighter in his career. But if he loses, it verifies everything I've been saying about him. And even if he wins, I'm still not going to give him a pass for how he ducked Andre Ward and James DeGale and other people. So it is what it is, man. I'm out.